When you think of obstacles that can halt a gold rush operation, you might picture broken excavators, crew disputes, or the occasional financial hiccup. But for Parker Schnabel, the man who's built his reputation on outworking and outthinking every challenge, it wasn't mechanical failure or human error that delivered the blow, it was Mother Nature herself. This mining season in the Klondike was already proving tough. Gold totals were down, the weather had been unpredictable, and Parker was pushing his crew harder than ever to claw back lost ground. But in a matter of days, an unrelenting Klondike monsoon wiped out that momentum and left him staring down one of the most frustrating shutdowns of his career. 3 straight days of torrential rain drenched Parker's claim, saturating every shovel of paid dirt waiting to be processed. At first, the crew kept working, hoping the weather would pass and production could continue without interruption. But what they didn't realize was that the storm had quietly transformed their gold-rich dirt into a sticky, waterlogged mess. The rain alone was bad enough, but in a gold wash plant, wet paid dirt doesn't just slow things down, it stops everything. Instead of flowing smoothly through the plant, the clumped-up muck began clogging the system, gumming up belts and chutes, and reducing production to a trickle. In a scene that could only happen in the chaos of Gold Rush, Parker's right-hand man and mechanic, Mitch Blaschke, comes charging toward him with an urgent warning: "Stop running the wet dirt." Parker, still trying to keep the plant running, is caught off guard. Mitch explains that the extra water from the wash plant itself is making the already soaked material even worse. The wet dirt is clogging the system, choking production, and risking damage to the equipment. Parker races over to see the problem firsthand. The sight of the backed-up paid dirt is enough to make even this tough miner wince. He swears under his breath, shakes his head, and does something he rarely does, takes the blame. "I screwed up," he admits, knowing full well that his call to keep running the dirt has cost him precious time and potentially a big portion of his season's gold haul. In the unforgiving world of Yukon gold mining, every day counts. The season is short, the weather unpredictable, and the margins between profit and loss razor thin. For Parker, whose operations rely on processing thousands of yards of paid dirt each week, a shutdown like this could be devastating. Mitch lays out the only viable option: remove the wet mud from the plant and let it dry before running it again. It sounds simple, but in reality, it could mean days or even weeks of downtime. And in the Klondike, where winter can arrive early and without warning, that's a gamble Parker can't afford. Will Parker find a way around the shutdown? This isn't the first time Parker Schnabel has been backed into a corner, and fans know he has a knack for pulling off last-minute turnarounds. But this challenge is different. It's not just about finding a new piece of equipment or calling in an extra crew, it's about finding dry paid dirt in the middle of a waterlogged claim. If he can't locate an alternate source of material, his wash plant will remain silent, and every silent day is a day without gold in the jar. For someone who prides himself on being the hardest-working miner in the Klondike, that's a bitter pill to swallow. As the season marches on, the clock is ticking, and the looming question hangs over Parker's operation: will this be the moment Mother Nature finally gets the best of him? Or will Parker find a way to dig himself, quite literally, out of the mud and back into the race for gold? For over a decade, Gold Rush has drawn millions of viewers into the high-stakes world of modern gold mining, a world where fortunes are made or lost in a single season. At the center of it all is Parker Schnabel, the driven, sharp-tongued miner who started his career as a teenager and grew into one of the most successful figures in the Klondike. With a combination of grit, technical skill, and sheer stubbornness, Parker has gone toe-to-toe with every obstacle the mining industry can throw at him: broken machines, bad ground, dwindling crew morale, and even the constant pressure of running a million-dollar operation under the watchful eye of the cameras. But for all the human challenges, Parker's greatest rival has never been another miner or a malfunctioning piece of equipment. His biggest adversary is, and always will be, Mother Nature. The Gold Rush franchise thrives on a timeless dream: the idea that if you have the drive, the equipment, and a little luck, you can dig wealth right out of the ground. It's the same dream that lured thousands to Alaska, the Yukon, and California during the great gold rushes of the 1800s. And it's not hard to see why. Gold has been treasured by humanity for millennia, and in today's economy, the lure is stronger than ever. In recent years, prices have hovered around $1,800 per ounce, a staggering 500% increase over the last 19 years. That kind of value fuels the determination of miners like Parker, who know that just a few productive weeks can mean the difference between a record season and a devastating loss. But gold is never easy to come by, and it rarely comes without consequences. For miners, bad ground can mean a lot of things: gravel that's too frozen to dig, layers of overburden that hide the pay streak, or fine gold trapped in clay that's nearly impossible to separate. But in the Klondike, where Parker operates, weather is the most unpredictable factor of all. 1 week of torrential rain can turn pay dirt into an unusable slurry. A single cold snap in September can freeze the upper layers of the ground solid, forcing crews to shut down weeks ahead of schedule. Even when the weather is favorable, rivers can flood, erosion can destroy access roads, and unstable hillsides can collapse under the weight of mining equipment. And unlike human rivals, Mother Nature can't be negotiated with or outspent. She sets her own timetable, and the miners either adapt or go home empty-handed. Mining is as much about moving earth as it is about finding gold, and moving earth comes at a price. According to earthworks.org, modern gold mining is one of the most environmentally damaging industries in the world. The process can contaminate water sources with arsenic, mercury, and lead. It can destroy habitats, disrupt ecosystems, and drive out wildlife that has lived in the area for generations. The statistics are sobering. Earthworks estimates that producing a single gold wedding ring generates 20 tons of waste. Multiply that by the thousands of ounces Parker's crew aims to recover each season, and the scale of the environmental footprint becomes clear. While Gold Rush focuses on the human triumphs and setbacks of mining, the cameras can't always capture the long-term scars left behind. Tailings piles, diverted streams, and disrupted habitats are as much a part of the story as clean-up day celebrations. The friction between miners and the environment isn't just theoretical. Gold Rush has faced its share of real-world backlash. In 2017, residents of a Colorado town filed a lawsuit against their local board of county commissioners for allowing Gold Rush to film in their community. They accused the crew of destroying part of a nearby hill, disturbing the peace with round-the-clock machinery, and damaging the area's natural habitat. Earlier, in 2011, the Oregonian reported on incidents where the crew allegedly drove heavy machinery through a possible salmon habitat and, in another case, killed a black bear. These controversies underscore a truth that miners know all too well: every ounce of gold comes with an environmental cost, and sometimes, the land fights back in more ways than one. For Parker, every season is a race against the clock. In the Klondike, the mining window is short, just a few months between spring thaw and the first deep freeze of autumn. Every storm, every equipment breakdown, and every day lost to bad weather eats into that precious time. He can hire more crew, buy better machines, or lease more ground, but none of that will change the fact that nature has the final say. When the rains come, the ground floods. When the frost sets in, the paid dirt locks up. And when wildlife laws or environmental regulations demand a halt, the operation stops, whether there's gold in the ground or not. It's this constant, unyielding pressure that makes Parker's victory so compelling. Every ounce he pulls is not just a win over bad ground or mechanical trouble, it's a win over an opponent that is older, stronger, and infinitely more patient than any human competitor. The Gold Rush cameras will keep rolling, and Parker Schnabel will keep chasing the gold. The price will keep tempting miners into remote, unforgiving territories, and some will walk away with fortunes. But no matter how advanced the technology, no matter how skilled the crew, no matter how determined the miner, Mother Nature will always be there, watching, waiting, and ready to remind them who really runs the show. In the end, Parker's greatest rival isn't Tony Beets or a faulty wash plant. It's the land itself, and in this fight, the only guaranteed outcome is that Mother Nature always gets the last word.